Hi, my name is Ruth. I am a software engineer and I'm currently building a product called CleerSplit. I am making this video to walk you through why I decided to build this app, the problem that it's solving, and how I'm thinking about the user experience from the ground up. If you've ever planned a group trip, split rent, or even planned a hangout with your friends, then you know how frustrating it can be. One person usually pays upfront. The receipts get sent to the group chat or a personal message chat. Someone forgets to pay, and even though no one means any harm, things get awkward. It's not really about the money. It's the tension, the follow-ups, the hey, just a quick reminder that no one wants to send. There are already a lot of expense splitting apps out there, and honestly, they do the math really well. But what I noticed is that most of them stop there. I spoke to people who regularly split expenses with roommates, friends, family, and over 70% of them said they experienced discomfort or tension around shared expenses. 80% of the users that I interviewed said they want a platform where they don't have to personally chase payments. Another thing that stood out to me is that several users mentioned having to mentally calculate or double-check amounts themselves, even when using an expense app. In fact, when I asked users what they disliked most about expense apps, over 60% of people mentioned things like poor communication, unclear balances, or feeling overwhelmed by the interface. Shared expenses is not just a money problem, it's a people problem. They involve trust, communication, reminders, and relationships. And when those things aren't handled properly, the whole experience breaks down, even though the math is correct. That's what led me to start building CleerSplit. CleerSplit is a social expense management application designed to help groups split shared expenses with clarity and simplicity. The goal isn't just to track who owes what. It's meant to make the whole entire group shared expense experience feel less stressful, more transparent, and easier to manage. So I'm designing the user experience from the ground up. That includes how groups form, how payments happen in real life, how reminders feel when they come from the app instead of a friend. I decided to share this app early because I believe that great apps are built with intention and good feedback. So if you've ever been the one fronting the bill or the person who forgot to pay, this is for you. This video is the beginning of that journey. I'll be sharing more about the design process, the product decisions, and how CleerSplit continues to take shape. Before starting this project, I conducted a user interview, and one thing that stood out to me is that 2/3 of those people said that they avoided sending payment reminders even when they were owed money. That insight heavily influenced how I'm thinking about notifications, payment flows, and communication inside CleerSplit. During my early research, I learned that 75% of people said they wanted something that felt simpler, more intuitive when it came to automations for reminders, and that's what I'm currently working on delivering. Okay, so now let me quickly talk about the tech stack for CleerSplit. CleerSplit is an iOS first product, so it's going to be built with Swift and Swift UI. I'm using Swift UI because it lets me build clean, modern interfaces faster. It makes it easier to keep the experience consistent as the product grows. I'm structuring the app using MVVM, which is model view model. The reason is simple. I just want the code base to stay organized and scalable. And then as features expand, like groups, expenses, balances, and payments, MVVM will help to keep the UI logic separate from the business logic, and that would make everything easier to test and maintain. On the back end, I'm going to use authentication plus a database so that groups and expenses stay synced across users. And the app communicates through APIs, so balances and payment status update reliably. I'm building this app in public. I've shared my first post about CleerSplit on LinkedIn, where I'll be documenting the thinking, design decisions, and progress behind the product. And on GitHub, I'll be releasing updates as the app evolves, from early features to architectural changes. So if you're curious about how this comes together, feel free to follow along there.